everybody, so it is that time yet again. It is Sephora sale time. It's just general sale time, to be honest. It is the season of the sale. It comes every year, it comes multiple times a year, but I feel like this year more than ever, especially because of the pandemic, companies and brands are really going to be desperate for your money. I've noticed a lot of the Sephora sale recommendation videos pop up, a lot of those wish lists and recommendation videos. I watched 2. That was enough for me not to want to watch anymore. I'm going to talk a little bit about sort of general issues I have with those videos and just some general reminders for this time of the year and for sales for beauty products. It's not all bad. I am just going to say, I fully believe in taking advantage of a sale. Save money wherever you can save money, but you are never saving money by spending money, period. Yes, it is something I say over and over again, and other people have said the same thing. It's just, it is what it is. It's the same, it's the opposite side of the people who do the Sephora recommendations and wish list videos, right? It's just a couple of other voices saying, hey, but perhaps think about it a little bit. So one of the biggest things I noticed in some Sephora sale recommendation videos is that they are sponsored. No shade to anybody who does sponsored content at all. However, this is something to keep in mind when you are watching a video that is sponsored by the company that is having the sale. I just think it's important to remember that, because that person who's doing that video is being paid to say nothing but positive things. So it's definitely going to be their job to influence you, and it's very easy to do so. I found myself watching one of these videos and be like, oh, hey, that's actually a really good point. That's a good idea. That's a good product, until I kind of had to step back and actually kind of fact check everything. It sounds extreme, but sometimes it has to be. Sometimes you have to keep yourself in check. I have to keep myself in check when it comes to those sort of videos, because people are really good at their job. It's why it's their job. So I'd say just remember that. If they admit that the video is sponsored, they're getting paid for it. They probably also received free product. I notice a lot of the times those videos come with some sort of giveaway, because no doubt Sephora gave them money or like a code to spend to buy products in order to give them away. This is something Sephora has been doing for years and years and years. I remember somebody talking about it who no longer does beauty videos but used to be a fairly large beauty influencer. They admitted to doing Sephora sponsorships, and the sort of trick was that Sephora would give them like a gift card or some sort of like a discount code. You know, you can put in those codes for like a free product or whatever. Like they'd give them like a code that they could put in so that they could say, hey, I purchased this. I bought this for you, because they weren't technically lying. They did buy it, it just wasn't with their own money. You know, it's all those little tricks and those little things. So just something to keep in mind. I noticed people recommending things for travel. Who's traveling? Who's traveling? Yes, it's nice to live in that fantasy life, but it's also not really practical or safe for people to be doing a whole heck of a lot of traveling right now. So I think that's a little bit tone deaf to be kind of recommending products that are specifically designed, like travel size products, designed to be used for travel. Also a little wasteful, unless you are living that sort of lifestyle. So that's another thing, is to consider these recommendations that are coming from people who have a very different lifestyle than you, and someone who would in normal circumstances be traveling a lot. Having a smaller version of a product they already have the full size for might make a lot of sense, because yes, it would take up less space if they need to pack more stuff depending on what they're going for. If they're going for events, for brand trips, for meetings, for business opportunities, it may be very different than how you live your life. And if you're not traveling very often, it may not make sense to have like a tiny bronzer instead of your large bronzer that you already use, just because it would take up less space. Just something to, I think, to keep in mind, that it's really easy to kind of fall for that. And I know, just speaking from my own perspective, that it's really easy to kind of think like, wow, how nice would it be to be able to like travel, and thinking about going to all these places and doing all these things, when, you know, not my lifestyle in a normal world, definitely not my lifestyle now, and will not be for the foreseeable future. Also, the thing with recommendations and wish lists, sometimes I feel like they go hand in hand, and sometimes people will recommend things that they've never tried, which I find a little strange. Like, I appreciate when there's some sort of like clear distinction between like, these are products I've tried and I've used like these exact products and would recommend them, as opposed to I've used similar and would recommend it, or this is what I want, and then recommending it to people, which I just have an issue with, because I would almost like to see people do separate videos. I know people like to get the views on it, it's what it's all about, but when you have recommendations, I think of stuff you've already tried, like the exact same product you've tried, not the product in a different packaging or a different size, just the exact product that you can confidently recommend, and then wish lists being stuff you haven't tried but would like to try and why. Like, I like doing those kind of videos. I like watching those kind of videos. I like hearing people's reasonings for like why they want to try something, why it's on their wish list, and also hearing about why they haven't purchased it yet. Obviously not going to come into play with like a sponsored Sephora video or something along those lines, but it's also just something to remember that if people are recommending or even just talking about things that they've never tried, if they want to try, there's a reason why they haven't purchased it yet. And just something to keep in mind that it may not be right for you. I mean, just because it's something that may work for somebody else, maybe somebody is like, yes, this is why I'm going to purchase this product. This is, you know, all the reasons why it's good for me. It may sound fantastic. It may not be the right thing for you. I just want to keep saying it so other people know that they are not alone in this, that it may be nice to dream about buying some of these things, but it just may not be practical right now. And there's nothing wrong with that. Value sets and gift sets are always something I talk about. Always look at the products that are being included in whatever set. Make sure you actually want what is in it. Don't buy things to try things if that's not really in your budget or whatever your personal goals are, because there are a lot of people who are trying to downsize, to cut back, to just not buy as many things. And if you have stuff that works for you, stick with that. Like, it's not going to benefit you to have a whole bunch of extra product. And just speaking from my experience, I wish I had somebody who was a louder voice, who could have said more of those things to me back when I was buying a lot of things, just to avoid over purchasing, to avoid having a lot of things that were taking up a lot of space, because that also can cause a mental block. I mean, for me, it does. When there's a lot of clutter and there's a lot of repetition with products, it causes mental clutter for me, and it's very hard for me to even get motivated then to use things or to remember to use things properly, because there's just too many things. I honestly think that you have to recognize your own triggers when it comes to these videos, especially. Really make sure that you are doing what's right for you. If you feel like you may be convinced to purchase something that you really can't afford to purchase, or that you will probably regret, don't watch those videos. As much as you may want to support that person, as much as you may enjoy watching their videos, you have to do what's right for you. I mean, nobody is going to be reimbursing you money that you lost because you purchased something based on their recommendation, you know? So you really have to think carefully about those things, and it's easier said than done, because I know when it comes up for me, there's people who whose videos I haven't watched, where I feel like, oh, maybe I should just watch their video or hear what they have to say, and I'm just like, you know what, no, I don't need to be influenced to purchase things. I don't need to hear what their thoughts or recommendations are, because I have no intentions of purchasing anything from this sale. I didn't even know the sale was happening. It wasn't until those videos started popping up. I was looking at what I have, and I'm like, wow, I have a lot of things. Like, there's 2 things that I would potentially purchase, and like the only one thing I may purchase from the sale is a green color corrector, because although I still have like 1.5, I don't have a liquid one anymore because I finished up my Urban Decay one, which is what I would buy. I'd repurchase my green color corrector because it's a product that I use every day and it's a staple. But I do feel drawn to other things, and I do feel like, oh man, I'd like to try these things, and I just want to play with this, and I want to do that, and just I have to step back and be like, nope, can't do it. I just can't afford to do it, and that is okay. And I know I'm not the only one. And so it's why I am saying all of this stuff, because I know that there's a lot of people, and I know that this year is going to be a very difficult year for a lot of people in many ways. And this holiday season is going to be difficult for a lot of people in many ways, myself included. And I just hope that everybody is able to look out for themselves and look out for each other when it comes to emotional, mental, financial, whatever those sort of things may be, because it's gonna ramp up before it kind of dies off again. We kind of get that slight reprieve in like the new year. I feel like brands slow down on releases. There's usually no real like major sales or anything. Once you get into kind of like January and February, you have a nice little break, but getting to that point can be very difficult because there's everywhere you look, there's sale, there's new product, there's new releases, there's holiday this, there's everything coming at you. So stay strong, stay strong, you've got this. I'm here if you need any help or just want to talk about anything. If you are struggling and you are feeling like you want to purchase things, my comment section always open, my email, my DMs always open. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows that you are not alone. You do have somebody, and don't be afraid or ashamed to lean on family and friends as much as you need to. Some of this stuff is difficult, and I'm not talking about the people who kind of casually buy things. Like, I just feel like this really hits hard for people who are like addicted to shopping and addicted to spending and get kind of caught up in everything that happens. And sometimes it's very easy to lose yourself in it, and it can be almost too late. You know, it's not like until like January, February when you kind of pull yourself out of that cloud that you're like, wow, what did I do? So anyway, I just hope this helps somebody, remind somebody you're not alone. It's okay to not buy things for a sale, but it's also okay to take advantage of a sale. Just do what's right for you. Ultimately, in my opinion, that's what it comes down to, is just doing what's right for you, what works for you, for your lifestyle, for your situation, whatever it may be. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I hope we get a chance to chat soon. Bye for now.